Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been following the NFL in recent weeks, you know that the offseason is always packed with surprises, twists, and turns. But this one, especially for us Eagles fans, might just be one of the most significant developments in recent memory. Rumors are swirling around, and sources close to the league are hinting at a blockbuster move that could reshape the Eagles' roster and their Super Bowl aspirations. And the player at the center of all this? None other than Kyle Pitts, the young tight end from the Atlanta Falcons. That's right, there are strong indications that Pitts might soon be donning the Eagles' green, and if that happens, it's going to be a game changer. For those who haven't been paying close attention, Kyle Pitts is a generational talent. Since entering the league, his combination of size, speed, and hands has made him one of the most exciting tight ends to watch. Coming out of Florida, he was heralded as a future superstar, and in his rookie season, he showed flashes of what he could become, catching 66 passes for 26 yards and a touchdown. But since then, things haven't quite gone as planned for Pitts or for the Falcons. Despite his obvious talent, Atlanta hasn't properly utilized him, and that's led to frustrations mounting. Some reports suggest that Pitts himself feels his potential is being wasted, and this has led to trade rumors gaining momentum as the offseason heats up. Now, imagine what it would mean for the Eagles if they could bring Pitts into the fold. The team already boasts one of the most dynamic offenses in the league, with Jalen Hurts leading the charge, supported by a talented core of pass catchers like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. But adding a player like Pitts, that could elevate their attack to an entirely new level. Think about it. A tight end who can stretch the field, make contested catches, and create mismatches against linebackers and safeties. That's exactly what the Eagles need to push through the playoffs and aim for another Super Bowl appearance. And folks, let's not forget, the Eagles are in a unique position this offseason. They aren't facing significant cap issues or losing too many key free agents, which means they have the flexibility to make bold moves. One of their biggest concerns heading into this offseason has been the future of Dallas Goedert. Sure, Goedert is a stellar player, a reliable target with excellent hands and route-running ability, but he's also 30 and in the last year of his contract. If the Eagles want to keep building this team for sustained success, they need to start thinking about the future, about getting younger and more explosive at the tight end position. Pitts could fit that mold perfectly, especially considering his age, just 23, and his potential to develop even further under the right coaching staff. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but why would Atlanta trade Pitts? Isn't he a franchise player? And that's a fair question. The truth is, Atlanta has been in a bit of a rebuilding phase, trying to find the right pieces and develop their young quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., who's shown flashes of brilliance but still needs more support. Pitts, despite his talent, has had limited usage in Atlanta's offense, which has struggled to find consistent rhythm and weaponize his skill set. The Falcons are in a bit of a dilemma. They see his potential, but also recognize that they can get valuable draft capital in return. With Pitts playing out his fifth-year option, he's going to be looking for a big contract extension soon. If Atlanta can trade him now, they could get multiple draft picks, including more than 4 in this year's draft, which would accelerate their rebuild. For the Eagles, acquiring Pitts would be about more than just adding another weapon. It's about transforming their offense into an unstoppable force. Imagine Jalen Hurts, a quarterback who's already proven he can run and throw with the best, now having a tight end who can do damage all over the field. Pitts' ability to line up in multiple positions makes him a nightmare for defenses. He can split out wide, line up in the slot, or block when needed. His receiving ability, with 47 receptions for 602 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2024, already shows he's capable of producing at a high level. But with more experience and a better system, that production could skyrocket. And let's talk about what this means for the Eagles' overall strategy. The team is built around versatility and explosive plays. Having Pitts in the mix would allow the coaching staff to design plays that exploit mismatches, creating opportunities for Hurts to distribute the ball to a trio of elite receivers, plus a tight end who can stretch the field. It would keep defenses guessing, forcing them to account for multiple threats and opening up the running game even more. Plus, the chemistry between Hurts and Pitts could develop quickly, especially in the red zone where Pitts' size and catching ability could be a real game changer. But beyond just the tactical advantages, this move would send a message across the league. The Eagles are serious about competing at the highest level, and they're willing to make bold moves to stay ahead of the curve. It's a statement that they're not just happy with one Super Bowl, but that they're aiming to become a perennial powerhouse, chasing back-to-back titles and establishing a dynasty. Bringing Pitts into the fold would also send a message to their rivals, especially in the NFC East, that the Eagles aren't resting on their laurels, and that they're constantly evolving to stay at the top. Now, there's always the question of how this deal might look from a financial perspective. Pitts' rookie contract is still manageable, and given his age and potential, the Eagles could structure a deal that makes sense for both sides. For Atlanta, the draft capital received could be used to address other needs, maybe bolster their offensive line, add some defensive pieces, or even secure a future quarterback. For the Eagles, it's about balancing the cost with the immense value Pitts could bring. It's a move that could pay off big time if executed correctly. And speaking of the season ahead, the NFL landscape is filled with anticipation. The Eagles are already considered one of the top contenders, and with additions like Pitts, their window of opportunity only widens. The NFC is competitive, with teams like the 49ers, Cowboys, and Lions all vying for supremacy, but the Eagles have shown they're willing to make the tough decisions and take risks that could tip the scales in their favor. The coaching staff, led by Nick Sirianni, has been innovative and aggressive in building this roster, and acquiring Pitts would be another bold step in that direction. Looking back at the recent history of the Eagles, it's clear that this franchise has always been about resilience and strategic moves. From their Super Bowl LII victory to the consistent playoff appearances in recent years, the team has shown it can adapt and overcome challenges. Adding a talent like Pitts would be a continuation of that legacy, an investment in a future that looks even brighter. Fans are excited, analysts are buzzing, and the league is watching closely. If this trade goes through, it could be remembered as one of the defining moments of the offseason, a move that reshaped the NFC landscape. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So in conclusion, Eagles fans, this potential trade for Kyle Pitts is more than just a rumor. It's a real possibility that could bring a new dimension to the team's offense and help them chase another Super Bowl. The combination of Hurts, Brown, Smith, and Pitts would be lethal, and it's exactly the kind of move that could push the Eagles over the edge in this highly competitive NFC. It's a bold statement, a sign that the franchise is committed to excellence and long-term success. Of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on how negotiations unfold, and I'll be here to bring you all the latest updates as they happen. The NFL offseason is always unpredictable, but one thing is for sure: the Philadelphia Eagles are not done making headlines. They're not just here to compete, they're here to dominate, and adding Kyle Pitts could be the next big piece in their championship puzzle. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. Do you think Pitts would be the perfect addition, or do you believe the team should look elsewhere? Let us know. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. The offseason is heating up, and the Eagles are at the center of it all. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Birds!